Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Rama. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, everybody. We'd like to warmly welcome everybody to this morning's festival of Radhastami. Before we start the program, we would like to invite Her Grace Vishakha Mataji to come and say a few words. Please give a big Haribol to Her Grace Vishakha Mataji.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paskya Tadesha Tarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. It's a very special day today on the Vaishnav calendar, as we know. We can relish the glories, the activities, the characteristics, the qualities of Srimati Radharani, such the most exalted of all devotees of Krishna. It's a meditation for us, her surrender, her service, her selflessness, her complete love for Krishna. So we look forward to hearing from Krishna Dharma Prabhu We want to thank you all today for coming this morning to relish this wonderful opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, before commencing the class, I'm going to sing, and it's the Radhastami, but it's going to be in English, and there should be a slide up. Is it? Is it? That's the one, right? Okay. So, does anyone have a cartel? So, please join in. I'm not going to sing the Sanskrit. I'm only going to sing the English. We've already sung the Sanskrit this morning. So, yeah, this is a wonderful prayer, and if we sing it in English, if we are English, I mean, some of us here, of course, it's not our language, but for those who are, this is their first language, it'll enable you to hopefully meditate and on Srimati Radharani throughout the day, and indeed pray to her, because if these words reverberate in your mind, then you'll be actually praying to Radharani all day long. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. The gopis of Gokula, all of them worship you. The gopis of Gokula, all of them worship you. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. Dressing so Damodar feels for you more love, O Queen of Vrindavan, Lord Hari's pleasure grove. Dressing so Damodar feels for you more love, Queen of Vrindavan, Lord Hari's pleasure grove. Dressing so Damodar feels for you more love, Queen of Vrindavan, Lord Hari's pleasure grows. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. Full moon from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu, Lalita and Vishaka, delight in your virtue. From the ocean of King Vrishabhanu, Lalita and Vishaka, delight in your virtue. Full moon from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu, Lalita and Vishaka, delight in your virtue. King Vrishabhanu, Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. Compassionate Radha, I beg for your mercy. Sanak and Sanatan, declare your divinity. Compassionate Radha, I beg for your mercy. Sanakan Sanatan, declare your divinity. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. The gopis of Gokula, all of them worship you. The gopis of Gokula, all of them worship you. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. Radha, loved by Lord Madhava, all praise to you. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Sri Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Gauri Sai ki jai, Srimati Radharani ki jai, Shri Radhastami Mahotsava ki jai. Go, Premanandi. Nama Om Vishnu Padai Krishna Pastai Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachane Nevishesha Sanyavadi Paschajadesha Dharane Omagyanati Virandasya Janan Janan Shalakaya Chakkahuram Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gopakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So it's is there a picture of Radha up there? Excellent. I can't see. I turned around. I'm going to creak my neck. So I'm very honored to be here today and in front of all you esteemed Vaishnavas, attempting to glorify Srimati Radharani. I find it a bit of a joke. A Malecha like me is trying to glorify the supreme goddess of the Lord's most intimate associate. But there it is, must be Krishna's arrangement. So I'd like to start by reciting a couple of things that Prabhupada has written, Srila Prabhupada has written, about Srimati Radharani. And this is something from the Nectar of Devotion. Therefore, instead of offering obeisances to Krishna directly, devotees offer obeisances to his compassionate nature. Actually, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is very difficult to approach him. But the devotees, taking advantage of his compassionate nature, which is represented by Radharani, always pray to Radharani for Krishna's compassion. So that's from Nectar of Devotion, chapter 5. He states that devotees pray to Srimati Radharani. And indeed, this is true. we will find countless prayers actually offered by the Acharyas, by Lord Shiva, by Lord Brahma, by so many great devotees, beseeching Srimati Radharani's grace and favor, without which we cannot please Krishna, approach Krishna. I'll speak shortly. I'll speak a little bit about her constitutional position, her tattva, as the Lord's pleasure potency, and I'll read something from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But I thought I'd start with just a few examples of the prayers that the Acharyas offer to Srimati Radharani. They're very sweet, and give you some idea of how important a personality she is. In our line, we are all in the line of Srimati Radharani in our Gaudiya Sampradaya. So this is a prayer from Raghunath Das, from Rupa Goswami. The ambrosia of your beautiful lips, red as the bimba fruit, is life-giving syrup to Krishna. O Radha, I am rolling on the banks of the Yamuna, my poor heart filled with anticipation, praying to you with all humility. I am guilty of being an offender, a rascal, a useless wretch. Yet I beg you to kindly engage me in even the smallest service to your lotus feet. O most merciful lady, it will not become you to ignore this most distressed soul, for your heart is always overflowing with compassion and love. So that's from the Pratana Padati. As well as, the Rupa Goswami has written literally hundreds and hundreds of verses in praise of Srimati Radharani. And some of the other prayers which I looked at, I'm not going to read all of them, I'll just mention them, just to give you the idea. There's the Sri Radhikastakam, 8 prayers glorifying Sri Radhika by Raghunath Das Goswami. Also, Krishnadas Kaviraj has written a prayer of exactly the same name, 8 prayers glorifying. There's the Sri Radha Kundastakam, the glories of Srimati Radhika's Kund by Raghunath Das Goswami. The Chatu Pushpanjali Stavamala by Rupa Goswami. The Vilap Kushmanjali by Raghunath Das Goswami. Lord Shiva has written several prayers. There's 16 names of Srimati Radharani in the Brahma Vaivata Purana. Actually, Lord Shiva has written a prayer of 1,000 names of Srimati Radharani. And at the end of it, the encomium says this: a person who reads or hears this prayer attains the same result as if he had performed Ashvamedha, Rajasuya, Barhaspatya, Trika, I don't know what that is, Atiratra, Vajapaya, and Agnishtoma yagyas. A person who reads or hears this prayer on the Ashtami day of the month of Kartik lives in Vaikuntha for thousands of yugas. He goes to Brahma's abode, Shiva's abode, and Indra's abode. A person who on the Ganges shore reads or hears this prayer attains a spiritual form like that of Lord Vishnu. O Queen of the demigods, it is true, it is true. This prayer, called the 1,000 names of Sri Radha, is a river born on the mountain of my words that now takes shelter in the mouth of Sri Parvati, a river that purifies the 3 worlds. I regularly read this prayer with devotion as far as I am able. So simply by glorifying Srimati Radharani. And the best way always to glorify the Lord and Srimati Radharani and his consorts is through the prayers of the Acharyas. Prabhupada specifically recommends that we I mean, we obviously we can offer our own prayers, but the danger when we try to write our own songs and prayers is that rasabas can take place. There's even it may sound very wonderful, just like there's a pastime in the Chaitanya Charitamrita of a poet, a Bengali poet, who wrote some prayers glorifying Lord Jagannath. And he was reciting them, and all the devotees, and these are like the Lord's Nityasiddha associates, were like, wow, amazing, gosh, this is incredible. But then Sarup Damodar very astutely determined that there was rasabas in the prayer, that he'd actually mistakenly taken Lord Jagannath's body to be material. Although he'd written it in such a way as to make it sound very, very wonderful, as if he was glorifying the Lord. Sarup Damodar became angry, and he chastised him heavily. So for this reason, we have to be very cautious in compiling our own prayers. But we can certainly glorify the Lord and Srimati Radharani through the prayers of the Acharyas. And as I just mentioned, there are thousands of them. And I have tried to render some of them into English. So let's say this prayer. We all know this one. Is it Tapta Kanchana up there? Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. This is the translation which I have poeticized. Vrishabhanu's most dear daughter, Vrindavan's queen and deity, dazzling with a golden luster, deeply loved by Lord Hari. Do you know where this prayer comes from? Yeah, it's included there, but it's actually in the Radha-stuti. And I was trying to locate the origin of the Radha-stuti, but I was unable to find out where it comes from. It's cited a lot by different authorities, but the origin is not given. I'm curious to know where it came from. If anyone knows, I don't know. But anyway, this is one of those prayers. What have I got next? Let's have a look. So what I want to do now is read a verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. In order to understand Srimati Radharani, we need to understand Lord Chaitanya. We approach the Lord and Srimati Radharani through Lord Chaitanya. Of course, Lord Chaitanya, as we know, is the combined form of Radha and Krishna. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj has, actually this prayer I think is from Rupa Goswami? He's included it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I'm going to read this prayer, and then I'm going to go through some of the things that Srila Prabhupada has said in relation to this. There's actually no purport to this, but the Chaitanya Charitamrita introduction to the Adi Leela is where Prabhupada has written his explanation of this. You won't find it actually in the text, in the purport. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Hladini Shaktir Asmad Ekatmana Api Puvi Pura Deha Bedam Gatau Tau Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Adhuna Tadvayam Chakyam Aptam Radha Bhava Juti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Svarupam. Are many of you familiar with this? Govinda, of course. He's a walking Shastra. Here we go. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him, who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. So, now let's see. This is what Srila Prabhupada says. This is, again, this is from the introduction to the Adi Leela. Taking the part of Srimati Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tried to love Krishna as Radharani loved him. Krishna was always amazed by Radharani's love. How does Radharani give me such pleasure? He would ask. In order to study Radharani, Krishna lived in her role and tried to understand himself. This is the secret of Lord Chaitanya's incarnation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but he has taken the mood and role of Radharani to show us how to love Krishna. Thus the author writes in the 5th verse, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, who is absorbed in Radharani's thoughts. So there's a picture of Radha up there, is it? What's up there? No? The picture's up there. Sorry, guys. I can't see. It's a weird system. So yeah, why did Lord Chaitanya appear? Obviously we know the external reasons to start the Sankirtan movement, Krishna Prema Pradayate, to spread Krishna Prema. But the confidential reasons, there's 3 reasons given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm going to try and get you guys involved. So who knows what they are? And there's mics here if anybody wants to attempt to answer this question. Not Govinda. No, I'll let Govinda answer it. But does anyone else know? What are the 3 reasons? The confidential reasons. They're all quite similar, to do with his wanting to understand Radharani. Okay. Did someone else have their hand up?
To experience the pleasure that Srimati Radharani experiences serving Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Do you want to have a go? Do you know any more?
To taste the greatness of Srimati Radharani's love.
Yeah. Anyone else?
He also wants to experience what she experiences when she feels his love for her.
Yeah, that's right. So these 3 confidential reasons, they're all quite similar, but they're all to do with Lord Chaitanya wanting to experience, the ecstasy, the pleasure that Srimati Radharani feels when she sees him, the love she has for him. Actually, this is the entire purpose of existence. Why do we exist? We also are little tiny parts, not directly of Radharani, but as we'll be discovering shortly, we're imbued with her potency, the Hladini Shakti. And the reason for that is the Lord wants to be appreciated. He wants to be loved. There's a famous Sufi saying that I like to quote, that I was a hidden gem and I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be appreciated. The Lord says, the reason why he manifested varieties. He manifested Srimati Radharani, all the gopis, all the gopas, all the, his Nityasiddha associates, and indeed us, the Tatastha Shaktis, the Jivas, was so that we could appreciate him. His beauty, his glory, his splendor. The Lord wants us to enjoy that. It's not that he's like, one person said to me, well, I don't know if I can worship such a narcissistic God. He wants everyone to worship him and love him and, appreciate him. He wants to be the center. Well, yes, but that's for not, because he's like got this immense ego. Well, he has got an immense ego. His ego is the biggest of all. But it's because he knows how wonderful and beautiful and glorious and splendid he is, and that by, just like when we see something wonderful, we're attracted, for example, to actors and football players and different people who have some opulence, very intelligent people, very wise. We're attracted to them, and we enjoy seeing them or hearing them because of their opulence. But Krishna is the source of all that opulence. He's the reservoir of all these opulences. So imagine how wonderful it will be when we can appreciate him, when we can see him, and relish that glory that he exhibits. So that's why, and that's why we exist. That's the very reason why we exist. And that's exhibited in its highest pinnacle by Srimati Radharani. She is the best lover of God, of Krishna. So Prabhupada says in this introduction that the first purpose that Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya, Krishna himself wants to understand that. He's manifested, he's expanded himself as Srimati Radharani. Actually, she's non-different from him. And she's experiencing this incredible ecstasy, loving him. And he wants to know, well, what is that? And he's not able quite within himself to experience that somehow. I don't know how we can make sense of that, but he is able to experience it because he becomes Lord Chaitanya. So he isn't, and he is at the same time capable of experiencing it, because there's nothing, of course, outside Krishna's capability. So in order to experience that, these are the three things. The first purpose was to relish the position of Srimati Radharani. So he's like, actually experiencing that. And when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita and we hear him expressing his emotions, and I'll show you a few of those verses later. And in the Antya Leela, there's quite a lot. He's actually completely absorbed in Srimati Radharani's mood, and he's speaking as if he was her. The second reason for his appearance was to understand the transcendental mellow of himself. Lord Krishna is all sweetness. Radharani's attraction for Krishna is sublime. And to experience that attraction and understand the transcendental sweetness of himself, he accepted the mentality of Radharani. So as well as wanting us to experience the sweetness, his sweetness, he wants to experience it himself. We hear stories about how I think in Dwarka he saw a reflection of himself in the polished marble, and he was like, wow, who is this person? Even he's attracted to himself. So he takes the position of Radharani. The third reason that Lord Chaitanya appeared was to enjoy the bliss tasted by Radharani. So it's all about Srimati Radharani. Desiring, this is a verse, this is the 6th verse in the Adi Leela, right after the last one I just recited. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. Yeah, so that is the verse that explains the 3 reasons why the Lord appeared. And that's Adi Leela 1:6. Now I'm going to see if I can just move to the next slide without... Does that say, this brings up the question? Well, am I going backwards? Now what? I think it's the things what... What's that? Forwards? I know, this thing is weird. It's got 2 buttons. I'm pressing the forward button. What's showing now? 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 Okay. That should have come straight up. I just pressed the right button, but for some reason it went backwards. Okay, sorry. This brings up the question of who Srimati Radharani is and what Radha Krishna is. Actually, Radha Krishna is the exchange of love, but not ordinary love. Krishna has immense potencies, of which 3 are principal: the internal, the external, and the marginal potencies. In the internal potencies, there are 3 divisions: Samvit, Hladini, and Santini. The Hladini potency is Krishna's pleasure potency. All living entities have this pleasure-seeking potency, for all living beings are trying to have pleasure. This is the very nature of the living entity. So 3 energies. What are these 3 energies? Who knows what they are? What's the internal energy of the Lord? How would you define it? Sorry? Give him that mic, Govinda.
Krishna's expanse. Krishna's different expansions, his different avatars.
It's expansions in his avatars, yeah. They're manifestations of the internal potency. Anything else that we could say about it? Directly? You want to say?
Satchidananda Vigraha.
Satchidananda Vigraha. What's that mean?
Eternal, full of bliss and knowledge with form.
Okay. So it's spiritual. The internal energy is his spiritual energy. And also it's his will. It's Krishna's will. He manifests everything by his internal energy, which is his personal desire, his will, what he wants. What's the external energy? Why is it called external?
It's not his will.
It's not his will. Can anything not be his will? Nothing happens without the will of God.
Without the sanction of God.
Without the sanction of God. So it's called external. Why? Anyone? Why? Pass him the mic. These are some fundamental points of our philosophy. Aha, Tarun.
Haribol. He's facilitating the desires of the conditioned souls.
Right.
He's reciprocating with their material desires, or to live separately from him.
Right, to live separately from him, yeah. So it's external in that sense, external to his will, his, what he likes. As my wife said, there's a difference between what he wants and what he allows and sanctions, in the sense that the external energy facilitates the jiva's desires. And the marginal energy is, of course, us. We're the jivas. We're called marginal. Why are we called marginal? Yeah. Mataji, over there. Right. we can be under the spiritual energy, or we can be in Maya, the external energy. Yeah. So those are the three principal categories. And then Prabhupada says the internal potency is divided into three. Samvit. What is samvit? Just quickly. Knowledge. And, yeah, Santini. Sorry? Existence, yeah. And, of course, Hladini. And that is Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency, whom we are discussing today. Let's see if I can move on. Right, I'm going to attempt to move to the next slide. Does it say at present? Hooray. At present, we are trying to enjoy our pleasure potency. So Prabhupada's just mentioned that we have a particle of this Hladini Shakti within us. We are pleasure seeking, and but currently we're not directing it in the right way towards the Lord. We're trying to enjoy our pleasure potency by means of the body in the material condition. By bodily contact, we are attempting to derive pleasure from material sense objects. But we should not entertain the nonsensical idea that Krishna, who is always spiritual, also tries to seek pleasure on this material plane. In the Gita, Krishna describes the material universe as a non-permanent place full of miseries. Why then should he seek pleasure in matter? He is the Supersoul, the Supreme Spirit, and his pleasure is beyond the material conception. Does that make sense? That the Lord is not interested in anything material in this world. It's an important thing to understand. The first thing we need to really understand about the Lord. There's a verse in the Gita which makes this point. Does anyone know which one it is? I think it's in the 4th chapter. Right after Chaturvanyam. You know it, right? Narmam. Namang kamani limpanti. Name kama pales brihati mam yo bhajanati. Kama vinasa bhajate. So the Lord says, there is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. So what he's saying is that he has no interest in this material world. People think he does. Why? Because he comes and he acts, right? He seems to side with the Pandavas against the Kauravas. And, he gets he gets angry with the Jarasandha and other demons and kills them, slaughters millions of warriors and things like that. So observing his activities, one would think, of course he's involved in this world. He gets involved in politics. He went to the Kauravas and tried to sue for peace prior to the war. So all these activities, they appear material. And they're not easy to understand, Krishna's transcendental pastimes. If we can understand them, then we're liberated. So that's stated here in this verse. It's also stated in another verse, which is a famous verse beginning Janma. Who knows that one? Janma karma chame divyam. Yeah. So anyone who knows the nature of my pastimes is a liberated soul. Because first of all, we'll take responsibility for our own situation. Because the tendency is sometimes, like a lot of people, when they're suffering in this world, oh, why is God doing this to me? What's going on? He hates me. It's like, what have I done? And it's like, okay, well, Krishna is not getting involved on that level. He's not, he has nothing to gain, nothing to lose materially. He's not getting involved. So it's all down to you. Your choices, your decisions, our decisions that have landed us in the mess we're in right now. And it's our choices and decisions which will extract us from that mess, hopefully. So the first thing is to recognize, that this is, Krishna's has no material desire. So therefore, his enjoyment with Srimati Radharani and the gopis is also not material. Again, those fools who sometimes depict the Lord as a materialist like them think that he's enjoying sex life, with girls and other men's wives and that type of thing. And it can be very bewildering. It is very bewildering. And it has to be understood very carefully that the Lord is not acting on that level at all. Srimati Radharani is his pleasure potency. The gopis are expansions of her, of that pleasure potency. So he's enjoying himself, by himself, through himself. And he's not, it's not like us. We're trying to exploit. When we want to enjoy another living being, we're exploiting them for our gross material pleasure. We're using them. We're using each other to enjoy in this world. But the Lord is not doing that. This is his own potency. So let me move on to the next one. Now, does it say to learn how Krishna? To learn how Krishna enjoys pleasure, we must study the first 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we should study the 10th canto, in which Krishna's pleasure potency is displayed in his pastimes with Radharani and the damsels of Vraja. Unfortunately, unintelligent people turn at once to the sports of Krishna in the Dashama Skanda, the 10th canto. Krishna's embracing Radharani or his dancing with the cowherd girls in the Ras dance are generally not understood by ordinary men because they consider these pastimes in the light of mundane lust. They foolishly think that Krishna is like themselves and that he embraces the gopis just as an ordinary man embraces a young girl. So Prabhupada is telling us that there's a certain qualification required before we can really comprehend the Lord's pastimes with his intimate associates, Srimati Radharani and the gopis. And that is that we must study the first 9 cantos. So why should we do that? What's that going to do for us that's going to enable us? I mean, what difference will it make if we don't study those 9 cantos? Would you say? Why does Prabhupada tell us to do that? How many of you have studied the first 9 cantos? Yeah? Are you ready for the 10th canto? The Lord's 10th intimate pastimes. So what is it we get from reading the first 9 cantos of the Bhagavatam? Yeah? Did you want to say something? There's more mics there, actually. Oh, there was.
We get both a philosophical understanding so that we know that Krishna's pastime is not an ordinary person. We also get purified as well so that we have the right qualification.
Yeah. So we get a philosophical understanding of the Lord and we get purified by those pastimes. Anything else? Someone else? Yeah, you?
We better appreciate Krishna's greatness.
Yeah.
That he's not just, Tom, Dick, or Harry from next door. This is the Supreme Lord from all the universes come from him, maintained by him.
Yeah.
His compassion, his greatness.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, he exhibits. Yeah, we learn about his great Srishti Leela, his pastime of creation, which shows us how incredibly great he is. Like Prabhupada says, people say God is great. Do they know how great? They have no idea how great he is. When we look out at the universe, how many of you have seen the night sky on a completely black night? I mean, when we live in the city, there's so much light pollution, you can't see the stars. But if I used to navigate ships, and so I'd be on the bridge at night and it'd be completely black. And the vista was just mind-boggling, it's just, you couldn't possibly begin to count the number of stars. This is one universe, astonishing array of different planets and stars and so many things. And yet, countless universes are coming out of the body of Mahavishnu with every one of his breaths, and then they come back into him again when he breathes in. And Mahavishnu is just the kala, just a part of the Lord, an expansion. It's just a tiny part of the Lord, of Krishna. So, yeah, we kind of grasp that, and then we begin to realize, wow, this Krishna, like you say, he's not just like an ordinary my next door neighbor, anyone else. He's he's an incredible personality. And Prabhupada, makes the point that you can't assume an intimate relationship with a great man. Just walk up to him and say, "Hi, Mr. Biden, you have to know who he is so that you'll approach him in the right mood, that this is the President of the United States. So a certain amount of deference is due. And it's like that. You can't just suddenly assume this close relationship with someone, a great personality. So it's just a crude example, but like that, we first have to appreciate the greatness of God before we can become intimate with him. So the 9 cantos are absolutely essential, and they do purify us, as Govinda Prabhu said. In fact, I was reading second canto, Prabhupada saying that by the end of the second canto, one should be free of sex life, free of, not necessarily subtle, thinking of it, but you're not doing it anymore. You've given it up completely, 100%. And if you haven't, then you should go back to the beginning and go through the first 2 cantos. And then when you're free, you've given up all sexual activity, he says you're ready to move on to the 3rd canto. So that's the kind of purification you're getting from the Bhagavatam if you're studying it properly, if you're getting the benefit that it's supposed to give you. You should be experiencing that. And by the time you reach the 9th canto, the end of the 9th canto, you should be God-realized. So you're at least at the stage of Brahma-bhuta, Ashakti. You have an attraction for the Lord. You enjoy hearing about him. That is your pleasure. I used to marvel at Srila Prabhupada, how Srila Prabhupada, any spare time he had, he wouldn't, start talking about some politics or nonsense or anything else, or what to speak of, because there was no internet at the time, scrolling Facebook or looking at YouTube videos. He would sit down and sing a bhajan to Krishna. That was his juice. That was his enjoyment. That was his pleasure. And we have to get to that point of rati, of experiencing that, before we're ready to dive into the 10th canto and begin to actually experience it properly. Not like that, oh, Krishna, it's, often we're very sentimental about it. Krishna's a little boy, so many, and how cute, and he's doing this, he's doing that. But we, to really understand janma karma chame divyang evangyo veti tatvataha in truth requires that purification. And we have to be liberated. We are liberated at that point. So we won't make the mistake of thinking that Krishna is an ordinary man and his pastimes are mundane. Let's try this one. Does this say to avoid such errors? We should understand what Radha Krishna actually is. Radha and Krishna display their pastimes through Krishna's internal energy. The pleasure potency of Krishna's internal energy is a most difficult subject matter, and unless one understands what Krishna is, one cannot understand it. Krishna does not take any pleasure in this material world. but he has a pleasure potency. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, the pleasure potency is within us also. But we are trying to exhibit that pleasure potency in matter. Krishna, however, does not make such a vain attempt. The object of Krishna's pleasure potency is Radharani. Krishna exhibits his potency as Radharani and then engages in loving affairs with her. Let me just read a little bit more. Radha and Krishna are one, and when Krishna desires to enjoy pleasure, he manifests himself as Radharani. The spiritual exchange of love between Radha and Krishna is the actual display of Krishna's internal pleasure potency. Although we speak of when Krishna desires, just when he did desire, we cannot say. We only speak in this way because in conditioned life we take it everything has a beginning. However, in spiritual life, everything is absolute, so there is neither beginning nor end. Yet to understand that Radha and Krishna are one and they also become divided, the question when automatically comes to mind. When Krishna desired to enjoy his pleasure potency, he manifested himself in the separate form of Radharani. Yeah, so this is an important point also that there's no time in the absolute, in the spiritual world. We're conditioned by time. It's a form of conditioning. So we think in those terms all the time. And so, yeah, when Krishna, it's like us, you know, when did we fall down? Sometimes we have that question arising in our mind, when, how? But, you know, now, you're falling down now, moment after moment. It's a decision we are making. It's, you know, there's only eternal time, and we are a part of that. So, you know, we have to kind of understand things in terms of a beginning and an end. So in this case, Prabhupada's explaining that there was no point in time when the Lord, you know, became Radha. She's eternal, he's eternal, we're eternal. And this is how he enjoys. He manifests his internal potency in the form of Srimati Radharani, and he enjoys with her in that way. So that is, I'm going to move on to some other things in a minute, but that is, oh yeah, there's one more section from Prabhupada's purport, which I'll read. Let me just get it for you. Thus, Krishna manifests himself as Radharani in order to enjoy his internal pleasure potency. Of the many extensions, expansions, and incarnations of the Lord, the pleasure potency is the foremost and chief. It is not that Radharani is separate from Krishna. She is also Krishna. For there is no difference between the energy and the energetic. Without energy, there is no meaning to the energetic. And without the energetic, there is no energy. Similarly, without Radha, there is no meaning to Krishna. And without Krishna, there is no meaning to Radha. Because of this, the Vaishnava philosophy first of all pays obeisance to and worships the internal pleasure potency of the Lord. Thus, the Lord and his potency are always referred to as Radha Krishna. Yeah, so Radha Krishna, we access the Lord through his energy. The Lord is the supreme energetic, so if he's energetic, if he's the supreme energetic, then there must be an energy. The Prabhupada says there's no meaning to Krishna without Radha. And the energy, there cannot be energy without an energetic source. So there's no meaning to Radha without Krishna. They exist eternally, the Lord and his energy. Yeah, just like, you know, people understand that everything in existence ultimately can be reduced to energy. So if they accept that, then we can ask them, well, okay, what is the energetic? Is there energy without energetic? If everything reduces to energy, there must be a supreme energetic. That's God. So that concludes the little section from the CC that I was going to read. So just to recap, what are the three principal energies that were mentioned? I can't hear anyone, but I presume you're saying...
Samvit, Hladini, and Sandini.
Those are the three divisions of the internal energy. Those are the three divisions of the internal energy. And the three principal energies are the internal, external and marginal, yeah. And Radharani is the internal energy. So, and what should we do first to understand Radha and Krishna's pastimes?
Read the 9 cantos.
Read the first 9 cantos. Yeah, systematically, deeply. Discuss them with others. And now, I just want now to have a look at... Is Srimati Radharani mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam? This is a point that we need to understand. Yes, once. And this is the verse where she's mentioned. I hope it's up there. Is it Anaya? Okay. So, the name Radha is of course included in this compound Anaya Radhito Nunam Bhagavan Hariya Ishvara Yanno Vihaya Govinda Prito Yang Anayat Raha. Certainly this particular gopi has perfectly worshipped the all-powerful personality of Godhead Govinda, since he was so pleased with her that he abandoned the rest of us and brought her to a secluded place. So when does this occur? This particular pastime? What's happening? Sorry? The Ras dance. Right after the Ras dance. The gopis, it said they were getting a little proud that, Krishna's dancing with us. Just see how fortunate we are. Just see, so some kind of spiritual pride. I can't understand what that is, but overcame them, and so the Lord disappeared from the Ras dance, and then of course there's this whole section of the gopis lamenting in separation from the Lord. Some very, very wonderful verses are there, and then they reached a spot. And how did they know that the Lord had taken Srimati Radharani? They saw her footprints. Yeah. And in the commentary to this verse, actually, I think it's in the purport in our Bhagavatam, it describes the soles of Radharani's feet and all the different markings that are on there, like elephant goad and a barley corn and, so many different things. 19, there's 19 symbols on Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. I think 11 on one and 8 on the other, or maybe 10 and 9, something like that. So they spotted, aha! They knew who it was. And they said, well, she must have worshipped him, Anarya Radhito, better than all of us, because he's taken her away to a secluded place. There's a commentary in the purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, let me just put it up, explains that the word Aradhita refers to Srimati Radharani. He comments, the sage Shukadev Goswami has tried with all endeavor to keep her name hidden, but now it automatically shines forth from the moon of his mouth. That he hath spoken her name is indeed her mercy, and thus the word Aradhita is like the rumbling of a kettle drum, sounded to announce her great good fortune. So, he said that he's tried with all endeavor to keep her name hidden. Why would he do that? I mean, she's so glorious and wonderful. Did you want to say, Bhagavatam? Yeah, this is what commonly is thought to be the case, that he would become so ecstatic that he would not be able to proceed any further with reciting the Bhagavatam. Yeah, I've not been able to find any specific evidence for that particular idea, but it sounds reasonable. But I haven't seen it in any of the acharyas or anything. There is something similar to that. But there are other reasons, like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives some reasons. He says that members of Chandravali's party were present at the same time, and so they, didn't want to be offended by hearing that this was Radharani, mentioning her name, because there's this kind of competition between these two left-wing and right-wing gopis, which I won't get into now. Another acharya says, Shukadev Acharya he's one of the commentators on the Bhagavatam. There's a number of them. Prabhupada, when he wrote the Bhagavatam, was referring to these different tikas, acharyas, and one of them is Shukadev Acharya, not the Shukadev who spoke the Bhagavatam. It says that it was very confidential that, Srimati Radharani had been taken. Aradhita indicates that he had taken her to a bower to enjoy with her alone. Even the other gopis cannot enter when he's enjoying with Srimati Radharani. No one can enter. So he wanted to keep it a secret for that reason. Sanatana Goswami says something similar to what Bhaktivedanta Prabhu said, which is that he lost external consciousness when describing the gopis' separation, and he could not pronounce their names. So actually, it's not just Radharani's name that doesn't appear. None of the Astasakhis' names are there in the Bhagavatam. None of the gopis' names are actually given. And it actually says there's, another one mentions that in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, there's a verse which says, Gopayed Devatam Ishtam, Gopayed Gurum Atmana, Gopayet Cha Nunam Mantram, Gopayen Nija Malikam. There are 4 things you should keep hidden. What are they? Do you know what they are? Your guru. Yeah, you shouldn't be going around, my guru is this, so many things. You should hide your guru. It's your guru, it's not anyone else's. What else? Yeah, japa beads, yeah, that's why we keep them in the bead bag. Your mantra, hide your mantra so you don't, because we don't do that. We broadcast our mantra. And your Ishtadeva, you hide your beloved deity. So, Shukadev Goswami wanted to hide his beloved deity, but in the end, it burst forth from the moon of his mouth in this one verse only. So we have the benefit of hearing that. Now, let me see. I think, let's see. This one. Her mind, senses, and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy, and she helps him in his pastimes. So this is an important verse. Srimati Radharani is as fully spiritual as Krishna. No one should consider her material. She's definitely not like the conditioned souls who have material bodies, gross and subtle, covered by material senses. She is all spiritual, and both her body and her mind are of the same spiritual embodiment. Because her body is spiritual, her senses are also spiritual. Thus her body, mind, and senses fully shine in love of Krishna. She is the personified Hladini Shakti, and therefore she is the only source of enjoyment for Sri Krishna. So some interesting points are made here. What does it mean that she's all spiritual? What's the difference between a spiritual and a material body? Is it just a physical thing? Like a spiritual body is sort of like ethereal and you can't, or is there something existential, different? The quality, yeah.
Conditioned souls is a separation between the body and the soul, so they're not their body, whereas spiritually Srimati Radharani.
Say that again.
So for conditioned souls, we are not our bodies.
Oh, right.
But we identify with them, but for spiritual personalities like Srimati Radharani, they're non-different.
Then
So
she's non-different from her body, but for us there's a difference between the body and the soul. That's correct, yeah. But could we have a spiritual body? Could we be spiritual in this life? We could, couldn't we? Right? That Iha Yasya Hare Dasye, that Kamana Manasagira, if we... So what is it that makes us spiritual? Bhakti.
Service.
Yeah, anything that's engaged in the service of the Lord fully is spiritual. So she's always fully engaged in Krishna's service. And anything which is, not serving the Lord, which is serving the external energy, is material. So it's just down to that. But the other point made here, I'll go through quite quickly because we could spend all day speaking about Srimati Radharani. She's the only source of enjoyment for Krishna. So what about Lakshmi? What about all the other goddesses? And what about us? Are we not able to give the Lord pleasure?
They're her expansions, Lakshmi. So.
Yeah, they're her expansions actually. The Lakshmis. I think, have I got that? Yeah, here we go. The beloved consorts of Lord Krishna are of three kinds: the goddesses of fortune, the queens, and the milkmaids of Raja. So there's three categories of consorts.
Got the wrong slide up. Next one.
Is it the next one? What's this one say?
Her mind senses body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Three category of consort. The Lakshmis, the queens in Dwarka, and the gopis. Just as the fountainhead, Lord Krishna, is the cause of all incarnations, so Radha, Sri Radha, is the cause of all these consorts. So Krishna is the avatari, from whom all the avatars expand. So in the same way, Srimati Radharani is the avatarini, I don't know if that's a word, of all the consorts. They all come from her. The goddesses of fortune are partial manifestations of Srimati Radhika, and the queens are reflections of her image. Don't ask me what that means. But basically they're all coming from Srimati Radharani. And we can give pleasure to the Lord. Why can we give pleasure to the Lord?
Through bhakti.
Through bhakti. And what does that mean? What is that bhakti? Because the point I'm trying to get to is that in the previous verse that I read, or maybe a purport, it said that only Radharani can give pleasure to Krishna. But so how is it that we can also? We can, right? That's our whole business, isn't it, to try and please the Lord? Someone was going to say?
Because we're imbued with... Oh, sorry. Because we're imbued... if we achieve spiritual perfection, she imbues us.
She imbues
with
us.
her
Yeah.
Shakti.
Yeah. It's because we have the Hladini potency within our heart. Hladini is prema. Krishna is rasa. Radharani is prema. And we experience the Lord through prema. And so because of her presence, because of her mercy, we are able to please the Lord. I just wanted to finish by relishing a little bit of her ecstasy, because it's so exalted and hard to understand and amazing. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj, when he wrote the book, he was like 90-something, and he was like trembling. We know he was old, and he felt he could die at any moment. He thought, I'm on the brink here. And if I do, then I won't... he was, first of all, in the Adi Leela, we see there's a lot of tattva. He gave all the tattva in the Adi Leela. And then he got to the Madhya Leela, and he summarizes it, and then he's thinking to himself, what if I die before I reach the end? The later pastimes of the Lord. All this nectar will never be shared. So let me share some of it now. So in the second chapter of the Madhya Leela, he gives us an insight into the ecstatic mood of Lord Chaitanya when he was exhibiting the mood of Srimati Radharani. So the verses in Madhya 2 are very, very wonderful, and I just wanted to read a few of those to give us just a little taste of that nectar. Does it say our Krishna? Our Krishna does not realize what we have suffered from. Injuries inflicted in the course of loving affairs. We are actually misused by love, because love does not know where to strike and where not to strike. Even Cupid does not know of our very much weakened condition. What should I tell anyone? No one can understand another's difficulties. Our life is actually not under our control, for youth will remain for 2 or 3 days and soon be finished. In this condition, O Creator, what will be our destination? So this is taken from like the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. He's just absorbed in these feelings, you know, of Srimati Radharani. And they are, when was she speaking this? When was she, you know, in this mood? Who knows?
Krishna disappeared.
After Krishna left, after Krishna went to Mathura, and she was just, you know, absolutely devastated and distraught. And that devastation is being, you know, expressed, articulated here. Oh, what shall I say of my distress? After I met Krishna, my loving propensities sprouted, but upon separating from him, I sustained a great shock, which is now continuing like the sufferings of a disease. This is the highest ecstasy. She's exhibiting, and see what she's saying. The only physician for this disease is Krishna himself, but he is not taking care of this sprouting plant of devotional service. What can I say about the behavior of Krishna? Outwardly, he is a very attractive young lover, but at heart, he is a great cheat, very expert in killing others' wives. My dear friend, I do not understand the regulative principles given by the Creator. I loved Krishna for happiness, but the result was just the opposite. I am now in an ocean of distress. It must be that now I am going to die, for my vital force no longer remains. This is my state of mind. So, you can see, like I was saying earlier, that to really comprehend these intimate moods and pastimes of the 10th canto, you have to be purified. Because, I mean, all of us, why are we serving Krishna? Because we want to be happy. And if we were serving Krishna and the end result was we're miserable, we'd think, well, this is useless. Let me try Christianity. You know, no. I mean, I'll try something else, you know. This is not working. But this is Srimati Radharani. I don't understand what Lord Brahma's doing. What's going on? You know, I'm serving Krishna. I should be happy. But now look at me. I'm plunged into an ocean of distress. But that distress is not like our distress. Our distress is, full of impurity. Prabhupada uses the word inebriety, and of suffering, of misery. It's horrible. It's just something that grief in this world is the most terrible, debilitating, devastating thing that is impossible to deal with. But, this is a form of ecstasy that Srimati Radharani is expressing. And when we, reach these higher levels of consciousness, it becomes the most nectarian thing that we can relish. And so Kaviraj Goswami, he wanted to share that. Let me just give them a few drops of this nectar in case I don't get the chance to, share the ocean, which he does later. I think I've got one more. By nature, loving affairs are very crooked. They are not entered with sufficient knowledge, nor do they consider whether a place is suitable or not, nor do they look forward to the results. By the ropes of his good qualities, Krishna, who is so unkind, has bound my neck and hands, and I am unable to get relief. She's talking to her close friends, Lalita and Vishaka. If you say that Krishna is an ocean of transcendental qualities and therefore must be merciful someday, I can only say that he is like a fire which attracts moths by its dazzling brightness and kills them. Such are the qualities of Krishna. By showing us his transcendental qualities, he attracts our minds, and then later, by separating from us, he drowns us in an ocean of unhappiness. It's incredible. In Prabhupada's, in Prabhupada's books, everything is there, to the most profound and esoteric and deep pastimes of the Lord. It's all there. At CC, of course, is the treasure house of that. But CC is the postgraduate study. First 9 cantos, then the 10th canto, and then CC is the order we should be doing things. But in the Nectar of Devotion, I just wanted to read this little bit about Srimati Radharani, where the elders, Purnamasi is talking to Nandamukhi, and she's commenting on Srimati Radharani. She said, just see how wonderful it is. Great sages meditate upon Krishna after being relieved from all material transactions, and with great difficulty they try to situate Krishna in their hearts. And opposed to this young girl is trying to withdraw her mind from Krishna so that she can apply it in the material activities of sense gratification. Isn't that incredible? What a regrettable thing it is that this girl is trying to drive away from her heart the same Krishna who is sought after by great sages through severe austerities and perseverance. So it's like they're marveling, like the sages are like very rigid austerities, trying to focus the mind, and sitting there for thousands of years, giving up sex and everything, and gritting their teeth, and really trying their best, to bring to mind the super soul and Krishna. And Radharani's like, I can't get him out of my head. I've got to stop thinking about Krishna, because when I think about him, I'm simply suffering the whole time. In the Pajavali, one constant companion of Radharani says, my dear moon-faced Radharani, your whole body appears very content, yet there are signs of tears in your eyes. Your speech is faltering, and your chest is also heaving. By all these signs, I can understand that you must have heard the blowing of Krishna's flute, and as a result of this, your heart is melting. I've got a couple, I'll just end now, a minute or two left. A couple of verses that I've taken from the Vidagdha Madhava of Rupa Goswami, which I wrote into poetry. This is just simply Rupa Goswami's words. And this is Radharani lamenting to Lalita. My friend, I am severely struck, and all my sense departs, when Krishna's name enters my ears and lodges in my heart. And then there is another one whose flute enchants my mind, seizing it with such madness that I can no peace find. Again there is a third one, whose brilliance I see in pictures of purest beauty that are entrancing me. Shame upon my sinful self for loving all these three at once, and thus I think it best if death does now take me. My dearest love, your loveliness within my mind impressed does agitate my aching heart with pangs of deep distress. For you are gone, and in this grief I know not where to flee, for here and there and on all sides your face I simply see. If Krishna should be cruel, dear friend, to me you need not cry, for it will not be through your fault, though surely I shall die. But please then place me with my arms around a tamal tree, like tight creepers, so that I may in Gokula ever be. This is just a few verses from the Vidagdha Madhava. And I'm finishing there, I think. Thank you very much. It's 10 o'clock. Srimati Radharani ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Go Premanandi, Hare Krishna.
His Grace Krishna Dharma Prabhu ki jai. Thank you so much. We will now have Abhishek of the deities, so if I can request, I think, some of the devotees to help just moved the Vyasasana and stuff off stage. So they're just going to set up. We would like to ask Radha Mohan Prabhu to come and start the Kirtan. And the Abhishek for today is for Brahmin initiated, altar clean and in devotional attire. And there's just one on this side, so you can come and queue up whenever it's time and take part in the Abhishek. Hare Krishna.
I can do it, but then I can just. Okay, so if I just do that, and I'll just move. I can play and sing. It's just that it's nice if there's more people involved.
Thank you.
If you, I see that you're eager, so. I'm just going to go now. Sit close and it's all right. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Vishnupastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Vishnupastaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Vishnupastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Nama Vishnupadaya Vishnupastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Kacharine Nivasesha Shunyavadi Vashachare Satadine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Kacharine Vashachare Satadine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Kacharine Nivasesha Shunyavade Vashachare Satadine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Kacharine Vashachare Satadine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivaswati Gaura Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Raya, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Raya, Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Raya, Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe, Radharani ki jai, Maharani ki jai, Radharani ki jai, Radharani ki jai, Maharani ki jai, Radharani ki jai, Maharani ki jai, Maharani ki jai, Radharani ki jai, Radharani ki jai, Maharani ki jai, Radharani ki jai, Radharani ki jai, Radharani ki jai, Maharani ki jai, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gaurangi Chai Jaya Gaurangi Chai Gaurangi Chai Jaya Gaurangi Chai Gaurangi Chai Gaurangi Chai Gaurangi Chai Jaya Gaurangi Chai Jaya Gaurangi Chai Gaurangi Chai Gaurangi Chai Jaya Gaurangi Chai Gaurangi Chai Gaurangi Chai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Go to Premanande Shishirada Go Kulananda K Shri Saram Lakshman Hanuman K Shri Thai K Shri Prabhupada K All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to some devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Srimati Radharani.